think the worst part about all this DIY stuff is that it's the middle of summer and I'm in Florida. It's super hot. But anyway, we're doing front brakes, passenger side hub, and axle U-joint, and then extending the brake lines. The more and more I worked on my Jeep, I think I get more confidence on working on my Jeep. Things kind of get a little bit more easier. I know what I'm doing. I just have a feel for things. But what I tend to run into is stupid stuff like this, to where like things just get stuck and I'm just like, it just, you know, takes a lot of time out of actually doing what I'm trying to do. And speaking of time, filming takes up a lot of time because you gotta set the camera up and try to figure out what angles you wanna get. I don't have a flip out screen to where I can see myself, so I always have to run behind the camera, see if I'm good, and then do the action, and so on and so forth. Now don't get me wrong, I like to film, I'm just saying it takes a long time. So I give a lot of props to anybody that wants to film, even if it's just like a camera on your dashboard. If you took the time and effort to put a camera there, press record, and to upload it, edit it, whatever, display it to the world, I give you major props, because it takes a lot of motivation, I would say, to do it, and to continuously do it. Alright, so I gotta pound out these clamps that are in here. If I can find them. I see one. Oh, and I don't have a vise or anything like that, so we're gonna use a hammer and sockets and all that to replace this U-joint. Since this is rolling all over the place on the splines, on concrete, I'm just gonna take a towel so that I can roll on the towel. I don't know if you probably can't even see that, but on the other side there's splines, and use a towel so that it won't grind against the concrete. Trying to protect that. One. Another one right here. Two. This guy is struggling to move. This thing's so dirty I can't tell like what's a clamp. Look, that clamps out. There's a clamp right in there. Three. I think this one was missing one. Now what I've learned is to get a socket that's bigger than the hole, place it over. Need this to be like level. I'm gonna use my jack and then put one on top and then hammer away. It ain't moving. Maybe I need to put more muscle into it. Break this socket. This is another way I saw Bleepin' Jeep do it. He just held it over the edge and he hammered it like so. And I'm gonna break this rock. I feel like I'm missing something. So I've been doing it right, just not using enough force, I guess. Ah, I found the last clip. It's on the guy I was trying to remove. Would you look at that? Live and you learn. 4. All right, challenging part is keeping this lined up on the bottom so that it's not clipping onto anything as it's pushing down, so it's open to go through, and then keeping this lined up top. All we gotta do is just one big hit, readjust, one big hit, readjust. Look at that, did it, boys and girls. We just give it a little squirt. There it is. Guess you can't see that. Clean these up and install the new one. Alright, so everybody online was saying before you install your U-joints, freeze them before you do so, because it'd make it easier to install. And so I did. It's probably not that great of an idea, especially for the temperature change that's going to happen from it being freezing to really hot out here, but we'll see. I'm not going to drive on it right away. I'm just going to install it. It's probably going to sit there for a day or two, and then by that time it should be all heated up. Now the question is, how is this gonna come out? Fine, came out fine. Just gotta be careful. So the method, of course, I mean, as most people should know, with freezing, it's gonna make things smaller, make things fit into holes easier, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to install this. And I guess with freezing, it kind of makes the needle bearings sit better. Put that back in, pop this top on. All right, pound them in, I guess. I heard like a click, so I think that was just the rubber passing through. I'm afraid like a needle bearing is going. But I feel like with it frozen, the needle bearings are like stuck in the grease. Nice, that was actually really easy. So I guess we'll find out if it's good or not to freeze this kind of stuff. So I'll let you guys know. Get these other guys going. Yeah, see, like these needle bearings are not gonna come out. They are in place. So I guess that's a positive, because I would technically want to install it like this so they don't fall out, but I guess you can still play it safe, unlike me. Honestly, that was really easy to install. To take them out, sure, it's a pain, but like with them being frozen, I guess I've never installed them without them being frozen, so I don't know how it would be, but you saw it. I didn't struggle, I didn't drop a needle, didn't have any issues. Therefore, I would recommend, but if there is a reason to why you wouldn't want to do it, please let me know so that I can take it into consideration the next time I have to do this. So it moves easily this way, but this way, that's how the other U-joint was, the old one. So I'm gonna assume that that's how it's supposed to be, because that's how the other one was. So yeah, and I mean, and the C-clips going in were hard to press in, so it wouldn't be too close together then, would it? Unless these two here are bent in, which is then closing it, making it tighter. So I'm gonna try actually taking out a clip and seeing if I can, or taking out the clips and seeing if I can loosen it up a little bit. Yeah, see, there we go. So that moves. Now I can get a clamp in here. Okay. Now I would just have to get a clamp on this side. I can't tell because there's grease everywhere, but that's basically how I would want to assume that it is, where it is floppy like that. So try to put this clamp on. Look what I did in my clamp, guys. Well, just gonna have to reuse an old one, which isn't ideal, but I think it should be fine. Yeah, I don't think that's possible because I'm gonna just do the same thing that I did the previous clamp. So I think the same thing's gonna happen to this clamp. I mean, it's in there, but it's not sitting right. Yeah, now it has a lot of give, but I think this one's gone. The way it's sitting in here. Yeah, same thing. So I think it is, I don't know, it's not supposed to be completely loose, I guess. So I'm just gonna use my old clips, clean them down as much as possible, call it a day. Both clips are in, but it just has a lot of resistance now. I'm just gonna have to go with it because when I try to back it out and give it a little bit more space, my clips would not go in. So I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. If not, please let me know. Or I'll let you know if this gets destroyed again. That's probably the reason why it was destroyed. But now I know how to do it, so let's put this back together. So I think the last thing I was talking about was just motivation, and just to do about anything, you have to have the motivation to do so. And what I've almost found that helps for me, and what helps for a lot of people, is just you gotta have a daily reminder on why you're doing the thing that you want to do, what makes it incredible. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just, you know, the why. You have to have a daily reminder of why, because you're gonna have a lot of times where things get tough and you're just gonna be like, screw it, like I don't really want to do this anymore. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And just having a daily reminder, like I said, is just kind of remembering why you got into it, what makes this unique, and the reason why you have to get it done. If that all makes sense. This is not a motivational speech at all, whatever. But it's definitely something that everybody has to face and deal with. And so that now leads me to question all of you guys on, how do you guys stay motivated? in doing whatever you're trying to do. Like, what really keeps you going even when the time gets tough? Actually, when the time gets tough, because when the times get tough, you almost throw everything out of the window. You're just like, screw this. Like, why am I even doing this? Yeah, why? I can't even get this in here. But yeah, comment below and please let us know on like what keeps you going even when the times are tough. When the times are tough. Well, everything was going pretty smoothly until I don't have a tool to push this in. I mean, I guess besides the thing in my lap, I had to look to see if we had something. So I don't know if it's gonna work. I think it should. I don't see why not. So I'm gonna use the old brake pad, figure out where I can clamp onto in the back. Probably can't see. And start pulling the trigger. This thing's plastic, so let's see if this holds up. Is it moving? I don't think so. Oh my goodness gracious. Now I've opted to go without the dust shield because the dust shield just catches rocks and stuff, as I've been told, so I'm gonna run without it. Maybe I got it a little bit. Find out, I guess. Nope. All right, well, I'm gonna have to figure something else out. So my uncle thought of this idea, and it is to bleed out the brakes just because there's probably a lot of pressure, and I have to extend my brake lines anyway, so I'm gonna have to bleed them and refill and all of that stuff. So we're gonna see if that does that to relieve pressure to be able to push that in. It's working a little bit, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I'm gonna say that's a no-go on that. This thing just doesn't have enough power to clamp this, so I'm gonna have to go to the store and get a tool. So it's actually a brand new day. It started raining on me yesterday, so we're back today. But I rented some tools, so I just have to figure this out. Now I want to take the caliper, the old pad in. I think I understand. I don't think I understand anymore. Assists in the replacement of brake pads on most four-wheel disc brake vehicles. It will force the caliper. Okay, so not using this. An adapter that fits the piston. I mean, does it need to go inside? That fits the piston. Maybe something like this. I would assume not to go inside. I think I did it. This goes in on the bottom. Now I just got to do it to the other side, bolt these in, and change the brake line. Back here at another day, and it's all because I needed Torx to fit this bracket to take off to replace these brake lines. Now I got my kit, time to replace this line. So I'm hoping that I don't have to cut anything, because on Bleepin' Jeep he had to shave off a little bit of this here because there's like a little lip. Hoping that I don't have to do that. I would have to do that. I might just position the brake a different way with the brake line. Yeah, so I have it vertical. The line is going a little bit next to the bleeder valve. So instead of it going out that way or coming out this way, like Bleepin' Jeep said, I have it going straight up. So I think I'll be fine because I can still get a wrench around the bleeder valve. So I guess I'll just go with this until something bad happens, I guess. So I actually should have checked the rotors before I installed this, because I can't spin the wheel. I thought they were gonna be fine because online everybody said they were fine, but nah. Now the calipers might be seized up because it's not spinning at all. Thought this was gonna be easy, but it's not. Probably screwed up somehow. Just more stuff to fix. This channel's never gonna get back to overlanding. It's just gonna be me fixing. This thing is locked on. Hopefully my calipers are not seized. I gotta look online to see how to deal with this. I just wanted it to be done. So according to Scotty Kilmer, he said to open up the bleeder valve to relieve pressure, and then it should be able to turn the caliper, but I can't, so. he was saying that I would have to replace the caliper, which I would have to do both of them. First thing I'm gonna check though, even though it's not the same problem we had, I'm gonna check this rotor compared to the other one. It's not very flat ground, but the rotor's fine. Now I have to test to see how to check for seized calipers, but I'm pretty sure it is. So I guess Scotty Kilmer's method was a method to see if it is a bad brake caliper, so I'm just gonna go ahead and have to replace both of them. Whoopee. Alright, so this video has been kind of a mess. My calipers have seized up and all of that, so I got replacement calipers, and that's easy. I mean, I pretty much already did it. I just got to unhook one cable, which was the same one I did for when I extended the brake lines, and then just switch the brake pads to there and I'll be done. I don't even need to press it in because the caliper is already pressed in. So it should be nice and easy and quick, and I should hopefully be done. So I'm going to put the new brake pads on here. I'm probably going to clean this off again just because I've been touching it and all of that stuff. So let's get on to it. What I'm gonna do with the bleeder valve, I'm gonna open it up here because I remember when I was trying to do it on my wheel cylinder in the rear, I ended up kind of stripping it, so I had to use vice grips in order to get it. So I think I might just do it here just in case if it's like super tight. Yeah, that was pretty tight. So there is some indents from the vice grips, but I feel like with for whatever reason, my line hoses were ended up stripping it. So. And I was using the right size and everything. All right, well, I changed everything, mounted it, bled the brakes and everything, and it spins. So that's good news. Now I have to see if the brakes work. But a little side note, I'm changing my diff covers. I'm actually changing them to more of a solid, heavy dutier diff cover. These are by Solid, and I think when I put RTV on the rear one, I put a little too much, so when I went to mount it, it was sliding all over the place. So now I'm out of brake cleaner and I have to go get brake cleaner to clean all this off and scrape it off again and try to redo it. But anyway, that should be it that I need for this Jeep. Now I do have the rear springs that I need to replace, but I'm in no rush to do that, and I have the front steering that I need to replace. And I am in no rush to do that. I'm just want this to daily drive right now and then take a little break because I've been working on this pretty much every single day, and yeah, hopefully it is working and drivable now. I changed out the transfer case fluid. The transfer case fluid, there wasn't much in there, so I'm hoping there wasn't a lot of damage or any damage that was done. I think I've explained this before in another video, and I'm changing out the diff fluids right now. So yeah. Stay tuned for the next video because that should be more centered around overlanding. Not a trip yet, but maybe a hurricane comes in and I have to, leave and want to leave and go camping somewhere. But I have no money for camping equipment, therefore I'm making a video on no money, camping equipment, all that kind of good stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'm Braxton, this is TrailspinTV. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this because I did at times. See you in the next video.